Previously on Hunting with Tripler.
Beautiful.
Okay, this is new in the box. It is still sealed. Please be in there. This is an Nikon One Touch Vintage 35mm. This is going for over $100. What is in here, as I mentioned, is I believe it's a third or fourth edition Magic the Gathering deck.
What is happening, folks? Tripler here. My name is Nick, and welcome to the season finale of Hunting with Tripler. I went out and bought a storage locker because I thought that was a good idea, and I met up with Dave Hester, which was awesome. The next day I went garage sailing for the last day before the pandemic. Stick around, you do not want to miss today's episode. Well, let's try this out. I collect so many things. Would you like to share this journey with me? I will show you all the prizes I got today. So come along with me. Come along with me, come along with me and join in the fun of the chase. Yeah! Folks, if you've come over here by chance, or if for some reason you've been watching my channel for a while, please consider being a subscriber, and if you're enjoying the content, please hit that like button. It's a thumbs up. I would really, truly appreciate it. In today's episode, we went out and we found another storage locker. This was in a storage locker facility that I've purchased from before, so I felt very strong about buying there again, and for some reason, Dave Hester decided to show up, which was phenomenal. And he's actually a really great guy. The following day, I went garage sailing, and again, as I mentioned, this was the last day of garage sailing, really the last day of sourcing at all before the pandemic hit. You were hearing news and things out in the wild, but nothing that would have led me to believe that I wasn't going to be sourcing for the next 8 weeks. With all that being said, it was a great episode because I found a whole bunch of nostalgia 90s items and a couple of camera items that turned out to be big money. So if anything that I've said so far sounds a little bit interesting, enjoy today's episode.
What is happening, folks? We are now on our way to the storage auction, a live storage auction, and I'm a little bit optimistic. I'm gonna tempt fate again, and I'm gonna get another storage unit. Of course, this would be a terrible video if I don't get one, and you'll never see this footage. But if I get one, then we might as well throw this in there.
Tesoro or what?
Or, that order where you start to begin, because again, the unit that I sold for, that value over $10,000, that's what you count.
So I got a unit, paid $40 for it, small unit, but I got it against Dave Hester. Whoa! So that was pretty cool. Anyway, we got something to clean out, so that's sweet. Got the receipt, just had a conversation with Dave Hester. He is the nicest guy I have ever met. Woo! Let's get out of there, son. Anyway, talk about just portraying him as somebody he's absolutely not. And I'm sure that, you get in scraps with people all the time, but this guy was just so cool. You got to appreciate that. You just have to. So anyway, got to meet someone who I've really enjoyed watching over the years. I didn't bid against him. Fortunately, he didn't bid, but still just super cool. What? Gosh, that was awesome. Great experience. Let's go see what we got out of that unit. Woo! All right, here it is, up close and personal. And there are a lot of toys. What drew my attention really was the toys. It was so obvious that if it wasn't the toys, I would have had zero interest. Couldn't make out heads or tails if this is extremely valuable, barely valuable, or what, but we're gonna get this out of here pretty quick and get it home, and we'll sort it. But to be honest with you, oh, please be in there. Please be in there. Oh my God. Yes, please. Come on. This is gorgeous. Look at this. This is incredible.
I mean, that many cars has got to be worth something. This is the kind of stuff I was getting hopeful for. Seeing Transformers, I had no way of knowing. I didn't see any, but that's what I was just really crossing my fingers. I mean, more, just a massive, massive lot of toys that, I mean, regardless, I'll get my money back, but just hoping maybe there'll be a nice surprise in here. This one is really heavy. I mean, this is really impressive. So, not G.I. Joe, I doubt. Okay. The unit is clean. That was it. Didn't take long. This is my haul. One little, one cart full of stuff. That was that. I'm just gonna double check in here. Make sure there isn't anything hiding. Okay, here it is. Bucket's getting full, or the clear bucket's getting full. The oversized toys is overflowing. The non-car related items are overflowing. And we did pull something pretty sweet. This is a super drive for an Apple. Just so random that was in there, but that's kind of cool to pull. So I genuinely think that obviously the pickup was worth it. I mean, the amount of stuff that I got, I mean, I paid $40 for the unit. Dave Hester was there, which was awesome. I talked to him afterwards, super cool guy. I told you guys that story. And as I look about all of the toys that I have here, I'm gonna guess that my profit margin on this is gonna be well into the $200 to $300 range. So here's where we left off with the cars. I've done a little bit of research on eBay, and you can sell random lots of Hot Wheels, put them into, you know, bags of 10, 15, 25. And that's what I've done here. I've done a lot of random 25 Hot Wheels cars, and I'll be selling those on eBay. Let's say I'll put $19.95 and put them up there, and I'll probably end up having about 15 bags, which means that this bucket right here will probably end up being around $300 worth of cars. So that's a good thing. And I'm after having spent only $40 on the unit and the amount of fun my kids have had with the other toys, this was well worth the pickup. We have decided, at least at this point, to not follow yard sale treasure maps outside of 2 or 3 sales today, because anything else, what my strategy has been, and it's been fairly good, is to find the ones that aren't advertised. And those are the ones that tend to be paying out. So at least at this point right now, I am on my way to the first sale. And then as we make our way back to my house, hoping to hit at least 3 or 4 total sales this morning, and then on to the gym. And then just a lot of work because we move into the warehouse, the new warehouse, tomorrow. So join me, friends. Let's see what we can accomplish and put into our piggy banks today. Yeah, I like. I have a low pro camera bag. Okay.
That's probably like $30.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, okay. Oh, a couple bucks. Yeah. $1. Oh,
And that little guy. These are great. This is what I like to see, folks. Just a random sign like that, just sort of leading off into the middle of nowhere. That is what gets me excited. This whole row is going to the same place. Sweet Millennium Falcon. And this guy. Lots of GoBots. It's pretty cool.
this was my haul here for 130 bucks. Sweet.
Okay, we have worked out for the day, and I actually feel pretty accomplished in what I did. So I ended up not going to the gym, but I put my 2 kids on the double stroller and I pushed them 2.5 miles. So, you know, pushing 80 plus pounds, 2.5 miles, and I ran it under 10-minute miles. So I was really surprised. And there were a lot of hills in the run too. And along the run, I found a lady selling old vintage 90s books like Babysitter Club, Goosebumps, and those things, when you lot them together, sell extremely well on eBay. Nostalgia sells.
All right, I am in the process of sorting everything right now, but soon we will have our recap. But there's a lot to get through here. A lot. All right, it's time to recap today's ventures. And in total, I believe we spent, maybe an hour and a half total garage selling. So let me take you through the finds, and it's just a great day. You'll see in the total budget recap how much I intend to make, and it's gonna be a lot. So we'll start right to left. Okay, this first box here has just some toys. The Micronauts, which you guys saw recently, I actually sold some Micronauts. I think this is a box full of Micronauts or a bag full of Micronauts. I don't know, I know this is for sure, so it leads me to believe that this is some additional Micronauts accessories. I'm not gonna pull them all out, but I do know that they're desirable and they should sell pretty well. And this is just kind of a random assortment. This Mego Corp Spock from '74, some Pez Muppet Babies. Well, that's not Muppet Babies, that's just Muppets. Some of the Marvel figurines from the 90s. This is a Voltron piece. This is not a die cast. It's plastic. This could be something. Oh, you know what? It does fold up. So maybe this does turn into Voltron. Well, that would be cool. Anyway, I would guess that this box here is worth probably between 40 and 50 bucks without really having done much research on it. This was just gorgeous. It is pristine. It is so pristine. It is so nice. I'm going to command a premium on it. This on its own is going to go for probably 125 to 150, and because the condition is so good, I will probably get that. You can see the figurine in here. It has not been touched. He said basically it was opened at one point. You can see here the bottom is perfect. The box is really quite nice. That's the worst of it right here. Like I said, this is an easy 150 bucks. These GoBots here were a surprise. I played kind of dumb on these because I thought they were worth more than what he was basically giving them to me at. But these are basically, it's exactly what it shows. These are power suits. They're not actual GoBots. There's a whole bunch of them. They don't go for big money on eBay, but I think if I lot them all together, I might be able to get $50, $60. If anyone knows anything about them and they want to, educate me a little bit, please do so. But from what I could see, I think one of these suits were selling maybe $10, and that includes shipping. And there were not a lot of comps, and I've got a lot of repeats here, so that's fine. This was kind of a throw-in. It does have the hinge that's broken. This is Capsule Corp. This is Trunks Time Capsule, and I don't really know what it would be worth. I know that once it starts making noise, it doesn't stop until you smack the bottom of it. So for what that's worth, and this is an Assassin's Creed Brotherhood little, I don't know, some kind of piggy bank or box. It's got a $30 price tag here. I know that's not what it's worth, but I don't have the key. I'm sure this would not be impossible to open, but that was kind of included in this entire bundle here. And here is the gem. The Power Glove was, it was effectively a throw-in. I couldn't believe it. It's got all of the other sensors included. And then inside of the box as well, 2 OEM Sega Genesis controllers, 2 OEM Super Nintendo controllers, a whole bunch of these Jack's Pacific games. I believe there's a Namco in here, there's SpongeBob and a few other things. This one looked pretty interesting. This is actually Radica.
I'd never seen anything like this, but that looked pretty interesting. And that was the box. All of this that you see here was $130. I was happy to pay that. You know, I forgot to mention, this was included in this lot here. This was included in the original 50. The Dragon Zord was the 75. So, I mean, in fairness, adding this in there was part of what made this deal so good. So I've already started to disassemble it. It's actually really simple to do. The bottom side has a number of screw holes that you can easily get a Phillips head screwdriver into, and once you've taken that apart, basically it's as simple as lightly pulling off the top. These are some of the side pieces that kind of hide some of the imperfections of the molding. This is not a piece that gets lost very often, so this is typically always there. Sia right here has got this. This is the backer panel for inside of the Millennium Falcon. This side and this side, and I've taken them in my big bath and I've just washed it down, and it's still yellowed. You can see that, but it is in so much better condition. I mean, the bottom side of this looks nice, but I mean, I'm already a lot happier with what it looks like. Anyway, the option here I have is to sell out these pieces and probably make close to $75 off of these pieces. You'd be surprised. Or I try to kind of put it back together and sell it as a complete unit and invest a little bit of money buying the missing pieces. It's missing 4 items, and those 4 items alone will probably cost me $100. So I'd be investing $100 to hopefully get somewhere around $200 or $250 for this item, and $250 is at a premium. That means this thing would look pristine. Kind of doing an analysis right now, figuring out, one, should I just clean it up, make it look as nice as I can, and just display it because I think this thing is awesome? Or do I part it out? Or do I restore it completely? These are questions that I'm trying to work through. Might just make sense to part it out and get this up on eBay and make my money back that way. We shall see. Stand by. Next sale here was a very nice pickup. This here actually goes for some pretty decent money. This P90X, I have one up listed right now. He wanted $5 for it. I wasn't gonna complain. I still haven't sold the one that I have. It's complete, but needless to say, he didn't want a lot of money for it, and I'm just not gonna complain. I actually thought when I was getting this was a Blu-ray burner, but the DVD writer is worth maybe $15-20. This TI-83, these always go for $15-20, so that's good. This Nike, this is a CPR hybrid driver, hybrid wood, whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty rough shape, but he did not want a lot of money for it. And if you have seen my golf video, this is not acceptable. However, I actually wanted this for myself, so I'm gonna probably take this to get regripped and sell this. I'm probably gonna take this to get regripped, and I'm going to use this myself. So that's pretty sweet. Then next we have these Nike golf shoes. These will probably, like I said, will go for $25 to $35. They're in excellent condition, barely used. Hold on, bud. And then this here is a set of new Nike golf shoes in the box. I think they'll go for $60 to $65 plus shipping. So that was an excellent score. So this plus this and the club here was a total of $25. Next, we have this beautiful lot of books, vintage 90s books. These are all just so nostalgic, and some of these were not books that I read. The Goosebumps series, I did read those. The Sweet Valley High, I didn't read these, and the Sweet Valley Kids. There's also Babysitter's Club. I think just in general, oh, there's also these Disney Adventure Magazine books. These were, I remember them being extremely popular, but what's cool about them is there is volume 1, I thought I saw volume 1, number 2 in here. But this lot here will sell actually extremely well. There's a whole bunch of comps on eBay right now, so shouldn't be an issue. Just in general, just all of these books have such great value to people who now have big boy jobs and they want to go back and kind of relive their childhood for some of their kids. These are books that will sell really well on eBay. I paid $10 for all of these books, and I thought this was kind of a nice find too. I haven't looked this up, but I'll bet you there's some decent value to this considering this is from 1999. The first sale of the day, this is what drew me to it. This Beats Audio HP NV23. I think the guy said it's a monitor. I don't think it's a monitor. I think this is a computer. And if it's what I think it is, I think it's going for $200 or $300. I don't think it's been used. It looks mint, and it's got some of the original plastic on it. So, I mean, I'll test it, check it out, but everything looks to be in just beautiful condition. So that was nice. But everyone, the score of the day, which surprisingly isn't the Dragon Zord, is this. So the Low Pro here is always a nice bag, and when you see that and they're going to tell you there's a camera inside, you should normally get excited because Low Pro is a good brand. But this Samsung NX2000, this lens right here in and of itself is worth some good money. I think perhaps this right here, what I have in my hand, is worth $150 to $200. But folks, the gem is this lens right here. This is a Samsung 50 to 200 millimeter lens. It's a great score. I am incredibly excited about this pickup, and for the Beats, I keep calling it a Beats. I mean, why not? But this NV23 and this here, $50 out the door. I scored huge, so you got to be excited about this pickup because between these two items here, I probably have $700 or $800 in sales just between these two things here. That's fantastic. Got to be excited about that pickup.
Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed the season finale of Hunting with Tripler. Make sure you watch my channel because on Monday I'll be releasing a 3-part series, the 3rd part in the series, with 2 of my favorite YouTubers, Chase After the Right Price and Phoenix Resale. Both of those gentlemen sat with me and we talked about all of the do's and don'ts of resale and things you just definitely want to pay attention to when starting a resale business. It's probably worth watching. In fact, you can see that there's a premiere on my channel. Make sure you hit that reminder button so that you won't miss it. Thank you very much for watching. This season has been a true joy for me, and I'm excited to be coming back in a couple of weeks with a whole bunch of new content. Thanks again, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.